What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of the Gears Cast. Welcome everyone to the Gears Cast, the best Gears of War podcast here on YouTube. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about in this episode, guys, so let's get into it. Welcome back, guys, to the Gears Cast. I started this show a while back, and we did a few episodes of the Gears Cast and ended up kind of moving on, guys. And I wanted to talk about just the Gears Cast returning, what you can expect from this show, and I'm so excited about it, guys, because I believe that the future of Gears of War is very bright. I know a lot of people are saying that Gears of War is dead at this point, dead in the water. It's in a limbo state, a state of no return. The Coalition isn't working on a new Gears of War title. They've completely moved on. There's a lot of things, guys, some negativity within the community. We're going to talk about all these different things in this episode of the Gears Cast. But overall, guys, the Gears Cast is us celebrating Gears of War and for what it is, guys, a franchise that we absolutely love. One of the big three, and in my mind, guys, obviously I'm a massive StarCraft fan, Call of Duty fan, and Gears of War fan. So those are the big three to me, the greatest games ever made. And Gears of War, guys, is a franchise that, I started playing and really participating in with the original Gears of War on the Xbox 360. And just so happened that when I purchased my Xbox 360, Gears of War is the game that came with it. And so I started, was the first game I ever played on Xbox 360, and ever since then, I've absolutely loved this franchise. Sure, guys, there's been peaks and valleys with this franchise from Judgment Day, which I thought was kind of the dark ages of Gears of War. And, but overall, guys, when we talk about Gears of War 1 to 3, some of the, greatest experiences I've ever, witnessed. That being said, then we, move on to Judgment. And, obviously it took a little while when there was that transition period over from Epic Games to, of course, the Coalition, and then the Coalition take over. And guys, it's been a valiant effort without a doubt. There's been things, obviously, with any game, whether you're talking Gears of War or Halo or any of these titles that are out there, there's going to be peaks and valleys with any franchise. And so here on the Gears Cast, guys, we're going to be talking about the future of Gears of War, the current, present. We're going to be talking about the past as well, but we're going to be really looking forward to the future with the Gears Cast. And that's what I'm really excited about, because I've said this many times, guys, that we all have to do our part in order to help grow the scene, grow the Gears of War scene. So whether we're talking creating content on YouTube, whether it's streaming on Twitch, talking about it on social media, on Reddit, and places of that nature, there's a lot of things that we need to do as a community. We need to do better. And I need to do better, because I talk a lot about different games on the YouTube channel, but I'm going to be putting way more emphasis on Gears of War, guys, moving forward, to really help try to mold this thing into a scene that I have just absolutely grown to love. Like, this is a game that is one of my favorites ever, and I want to see it succeed more than anything. So with that being said, I got to do my part. I know that there's a lot of you out there that are also doing your part, but I think that we can continue to do more, whether it's supporting the esports side of Gears of War, whether it's, just supporting the game from watching people on Twitch, so, watching people on YouTube that are creating content around this game. I look at guys like, Shadows. It feels like Shadows is the one guy who's really consistently creating content around Gears of War. It's a real labor of love to him, you can tell. But he's also streaming on Twitch. There needs to be way more people like that, guys. And so I'm going to start doing my part in helping this Gears of War ecosystem, because had a conversation, back and forth conversation with Shadows the other day on Twitter, and we were just talking back and forth about how there's so much excitement for Gears 6 in particular. We're going to be talking about Gears 6 in this episode of the show, guys, but there's a lot of excitement around it. But the big thing is that we as a community have to, learn from the mistakes of the past, from like Gears 5, to what we can, kind of implement moving forward to really help the scene grow in a major way. I think that Gears of War is one of those niche titles right now, but how can we make it go from a niche title, which has a very close, very excited community, and a community that has been, together for so long? how can we go to the next level? How can we make that step? Kind of like what Halo did when we saw, obviously Halo 5 Guardians was, very poorly received. And it was a number of years we could talk about the Halo, dark ages. And then we get Halo Infinite. It took one game to take you into a really poor direction with Halo. It took one game to bring you right back up into the forefront of the shooting genre. I mean, Halo is doing absolutely incredible, doing better than it's done in so long. How can we do something similar like that here in the Gears of War community? What is it going to take for us to take Gears to another level? What's that going to take? Because I've always said that Gears of War was always and has felt like it's been on the cusp of greatness. Like it was very close to getting to where these other games are. Maybe it wasn't ever going to be as big as Halo or was going to be as big as, say, Call of Duty or one of those titles. But how can we make this a sustainable title moving forward? That's what we're going to be talking about, guys, on the Gears Cast moving forward. I can't wait to share more with you guys. But it's back, guys. And with that, I want to start bringing on some guests onto the show, guys, that we can have talk about Gears of War at a high level, whether we're talking esports or from a casual perspective, Horde mode, Escape, all these different, modes that are coming out in the future, Gears 6 in particular, what that could look like, a Gears of War movie, Gears 7. Obviously, guys, Rod Ferguson, the studio head at the Coalition, or former studio head at the Coalition, had stated that we're getting a Gears 6, a Gears 7, and a Gears of War movie. Those were all confirmed by him. And so where do we stand with all that stuff? Those are things, guys, that we're going to be talking about here on the Gears Cast. But with that being said, guys, I hope you're as excited as me for the Gears Cast to return, and I can't wait to obviously be bringing out more and more Gears of War content to all of you, whether it's here on the YouTube channel or on Twitch, twitch.tv/0_TV. Let's get into the show. The community is starting to get super excited for Gears 6, guys, as this is a title that we're starting to hear more rumbling, speculation, and leaks about. And I want to talk, guys, about some Gears 6 news and some things that are coming out slowly but surely, and what this may mean for the future of Gears of War and when we can expect Gears 6 in the future. So let's get into it. So, guys, in an article coming to us from Michael Beckwith of Tech Radar, rumor points to a Gears of War or Gears 6 2024 release at the earliest. The next mainline entry in the Gears of War series, Gears of War 6, won't release for another 3 or 4 years, according to a new rumor. On the latest episode of the Xbox Newscast, guest Randall Thor, a YouTuber believed to have connections within the games industry, claimed that Gears of War 6 will arrive in either 2024 or 2025 after another project that developer the Coalition is working on. Now, I've been hearing these rumors as well, guys, that the Coalition's working on a couple of projects. Obviously they helped out with The Matrix Awakens with Epic Games. They also, it sounds like, are working potentially on the Perfect Dark sequel or continuation. And so if they're helping out with that, it would make sense that they would obviously have Gears 6, is something that they have a team working on at this point, but they've also got part of their team working on one of these other projects. Now, could it be an altogether new IP? That's also possible. Apparently, the Coalition's next project is a brand new, smaller IP, which will release ahead of Gears of War 6 in 2023. There are so far no other details on this project aside from the fact that it's different from the Matrix Awakens tech demo, which the Coalition collaborated on alongside Epic. So, look, it's really interesting, guys, that, the Coalition, they've started to get their hands in more projects than just Gears of War. Now, could it be something that's within the Gears of War universe, or is it a completely new IP altogether? Either way, I'd be very interested to see what the Coalition's going to be working on. I mean, obviously, guys, we want there to be a Gears 6, and we already got that a Gears 6 is coming. It was confirmed by Rod Ferguson, which we know is obviously the former, head of the Coalition. And obviously is no longer, he's over at Blizzard working on Diablo. But that being said, he had stated that Gears 6, Gears 7, as well as a Gears movie were all confirmed and were things that were going to be happening. So it sounds like maybe Microsoft with the Coalition greenlit a couple of more entries in the Gears of War franchise from a video game perspective, as well as working with Universal from the movie perspective as well. So it's very interesting. Now, the Coalition has already started that it has shifted, as stated that it has shifted to working with Unreal Engine 5, which is what The Matrix Awakens runs on. So whatever it's working on next, it will undoubtedly use the latest technology and aim to take full advantage of the Xbox Series X and S's hardware. And I agree, guys. I think that the power of the X as well as the S, I'm so excited to see the next Gears of War with Unreal Engine 5. I mean, we saw The Matrix Awakens, and this was incredible. I mean, the graphics, it looks like a movie. And so could you do this here with Gears 6? I mean, wow, it would be unbelievable. From a graphics perspective, I think Gears 6 is going to be unbelievable. And so I'm okay with waiting a little while for the next Gears title, just because if it's going to be, obviously with Unreal Engine 5, they take their time. We want this to be perfectly made. We want it, obviously no game out there, guys, is perfect, but we want it to, without a doubt, be something that's really special. And that if that means the Coalition needs to take their time, I'm totally okay with them taking their time. Now, the Gears of War franchise was originally held by Epic Games until Microsoft acquired the rights in 2014. Starting with 2015's Gears of War Ultimate Edition, a rematch of the first game from 2008, the Coalition took over as developer. While the last mainline entry, Gears 5, was released in 2019, a turn-based strategy game spin-off called Gears Tactics was released in 2020 to what fans' appetites. Two of the main characters, Marcus Phoenix and Kate Diaz, are also now available in Fortnite as unlockable skins, and it sounds like this could be the closest fans get to a new Gears of War game for a few years yet. Now, let's talk about that, guys, because to me, I think that even though Gears 6 may be a couple of years away, I do think we're going to get an announcement this year in 2022. Could be a very short teaser, basically essentially saying that the Coalition is working on the next Gears of War title. Could be maybe at the Xbox showcase. Could we get it there or somewhere else throughout the course of the year at one of these conventions? I think it's very possible. The only thing that's in the back of my mind is maybe the Coalition wants to first start promoting their newest game that's coming out, their new IP, whatever that may be. Whether if we're talking about potential Perfect Dark continuation or a new IP altogether, the Coalition may want to show that off first, which would hold off and would delay the reveal or announcement of Gears 6 until, say, 2023. But I'm really hoping, guys, fingers crossed, that we get an announcement this year. Gets us talking. It's going to get us really excited that a Gears 6 is confirmed to be coming out in this current juncture in the gaming industry in 2022. So I think, guys, we are going to get one this year. Fingers crossed. But it really comes down to us as the community, guys, going to the developers, going to the Coalition, saying, "Hey, we want Gears 6. We want to see a announcement this year." Sometimes, guys, the developers and the studios may not listen to what we are asking for, but sometimes, guys, they do listen to what we're asking for. And so this could be one of those ways that we just really try to push this thing, at least get it echoed into existence. And then from there, obviously, guys, we have something to talk about for the next year or two until it releases. But let me know, guys, what do you think? Do you think we're going to be getting a Gears 6 announcement this year here in 2022, or do you think it's going to be a little bit longer? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. With Xbox acquiring Activision, I want to talk about what this means for Gears of War moving forward. Is this a positive thing? Is it a negative thing? Or is it really to be decided at this point in time? Let's talk about it. So obviously, guys, we know the massive transaction that happened between Microsoft and, of course, Activision Blizzard. Microsoft is acquiring Activision Blizzard, which was, it really, at the end of the day, it shook the gaming industry at its core without question. Obviously, the deal has not gone through fully yet. It probably won't be going through until later into 2023, actually. But that being said, what does this mean for Gears of War? Because now with Activision Blizzard, all those games coming into the library of Xbox, is it a positive thing or a negative thing for the Coalition, or should I say really Gears of War as a franchise? And so obviously, Gears of War has been at the forefront. When we think about Xbox exclusives, the two that really come to my mind that have owned, the Xbox audience in a major way, it's Halo and Gears of War. You can maybe throw Fable in there. You can maybe throw in a couple other, titles in there. But those are the two that really come to my mind. And so with this, acquisition, does it mean that there's going to be more emphasis on some of these other titles that are going to be coming in from Activision Blizzard? Like, what I'm getting at here, guys, is could the Coalition get pulled away from working on a new Gears of War title to work on, say, the next Call of Duty entry or the next, whatever it might be, the next StarCraft or something of that nature? Those are questions that start going through my mind, because obviously there's teams already that have been implemented at Activision Blizzard to work on those titles. So you would think that this would just continue that push. Microsoft would continue that push with all these different exclusive titles, Gears of War being one of the top ones out there. But with all these new games coming in, do you think that they're going to start moving some of these teams from, say, Halo, obviously with 343 Industries, could 343 end up working on a title that's coming in from Blizzard or a title that's coming in from Activision? That's where it's going to get really interesting, guys. And obviously, we're not going to see the ramifications of this until after that deal really happens in 2023. Do I think it's a good thing for Gears? Well, here's what I will say, is that this puts way more eyeballs on Xbox as a whole, as a console. Xbox is the little brother no more to PlayStation. And the thing about that, guys, is when we look at this, so many games now that are going to be coming to Xbox and are going to be could be console exclusives for Xbox, it's going to get a lot more people to start purchasing Xboxes, which at the end of the day, we have Sony, who's been kind of complacent with their titles as of late, and you've got Xbox continuing to acquire companies. This could be absolutely huge. So the way that it's a positive thing is that there's more eyeballs that are going to be on Xbox now. So if Gears of War, whenever that announcement comes out for Gears 6, there's going to be more eyeballs on it. It's going to be another reason why you should come over and at least give the Xbox a try. From a negative perspective, though, more games obviously means that you need more teams and more studios and things of that nature to make these projects. And do some of these other projects get put on the back burner for, say, bigger titles like Call of Duty, Warcraft, StarCraft, and, the list goes on and on from Activision Blizzard as well as from Bethesda. We got all those titles, Elder Scrolls and Doom, and the list goes on there as well. It's going to be interesting to see how Microsoft plays this. But this is why, guys, it is so important that we as a community, we need to really continue the growth of this scene. And sure, I know right now it feels like, how are we going to be able to continue growing the scene? But really what it comes down to, guys, is creating content around this title. If you don't create content, play the game or stream the game on Twitch. If that being Gears 5 or one of the Gears of War titles, preferably Gears 5 though, guys, that's what's going to show those numbers. If you don't want to do that, then support your favorite streamers, support your favorite YouTubers that are covering the game. I think it's very important, guys, especially now more than ever, because this acquisition of Activision Blizzard is a good thing at the end of the day, because there's just more emphasis on Xbox, more people are going to be buying Xboxes, and there's no debate about that. But obviously, for a title like ours being Gears of War, it is very important that we as the community are continuing to create content or continuing to stream the game, play the game. And it's very, very important because it's a game that's obviously had its last update and such. And let's just say we're another year or 2 or 3 away from Gears 6. We as the community have got to continue pushing this thing forward, supporting the esports scene of Gears of War, watching the games. And they do give us some, they give us incentives for watching the Gears esports games, guys, that being skins, exclusive skins, things of that nature. So I think that we've just got to be as supportive as possible when it comes to Gears of War as a franchise at this point, because with this acquisition, that it's a very good thing, but it comes in with a lot more competition now that, where Gears of War was one at the forefront with Halo. Now you've got a lot of other games that are coming into the fray, like Call of Duty and games of that nature that are juggernauts in the shooter scene. But that being said, guys, do you think this is a good thing, that being Activision being acquired by Xbox? Do you think it's a good thing, a bad thing, or do you think it's kind of in between, or do you think it's something that we have to kind of wait and see on? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Gears of War content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. Gears esports is one of my favorite esports to watch, guys. I think that it is so unique in a number of ways, and I love it. I absolutely love Gears esports. That being said, how can the coalition and Xbox, Microsoft, how can they improve Gears Esports over the next number of months, over the next couple of years while we're waiting for Gear 6, and even after Gear 6, how can they improve this to be a long withstanding, sustainable ecosystem and esport for the future? So let's talk about that, guys. Like I said, Gears Esports is so unique, and I think that there's something very special that you don't really see in other games, out there, or I should say other esports out there. It is such a, an esport that is unique from a trash talking perspective to just a gameplay perspective. It's the viewership experience is really awesome, guys. What I will say though, is with Gears of War and with the esports scene, I kind of felt that when Gears of War 4 came out, I felt that the esports scene should have stuck with, instead of escalation, even though I love escalation, I think it's absolutely awesome, I felt that execution should have stayed the esport, mode, at least for the foreseeable future. And the reason for that, guys, was because it's very easy to follow execution. You get one life, there's power weapons on the map. It was just it's like a search and destroy for Call of Duty or CSGO and games of that nature. And so I felt like execution was like a really good foundation for where they should have started, because that's what the esports scene used to be. And it used to start around execution, and then it kind of evolved to this new game mode, Escalation, which I think Escalation, like I said, is an absolutely incredible game mode. Don't get me wrong. I just think from a viewership perspective, those who aren't super familiar with the game or aren't familiar with the game mode, it's a little bit more confusing to follow than execution. Now, obviously, guys, you could have arguments on either side that, escalation's really not that hard to understand, but I just think that new viewers coming in, execution just made, a little bit more sense, at least. And this is just one man's thoughts, guys, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to have, real conversations about this. But so the first thing that I feel to improve Gears Esports, number one, is I think they need to go back to execution. I think that we at least need to try that, or make it a part of the rotation of game modes. If they have escalation, maybe they also have execution. Kind of like what we see with like Call of Duty. Call of Duty has a few different game modes each year that they utilize, whether it's hardpoint and search and destroy, and they usually have a few game modes in the CDL. So I would love to see something like that, or I would love to just see it start with execution and kind of see where it evolves to, because execution is a really special game mode, in my opinion, guys. And number two, I think there needs to be more emphasis. Even though they've been trying to support the Gears esports scene, there needs to be more emphasis moving forward for Gears esports. It's a very special esport, guys, in my opinion, and it's one that not everyone even knows about, really. It's not one that like everybody, watches. It's so good. I mean, a lot of people say that Call of Duty is the WWE of esports. I feel like that's Gears of War. I feel like Call of Duty, like they may, like, it doesn't seem like they really try to make it the WWE. The players try to make it like that, but the CDL wants it to be more like the NFL or the NBA or something of that nature. Whereas Gears of War, guys, it's the WWE of esports. I mean, it is unbelievable the amount of trash talking and just the really epic, scenes and things that happen on a day-to-day basis with the esports scene. It's incredible with Gears of War. And I've said this from the beginning, that there was a lot of, really big personalities in the Gears scene that were, obviously, playing the game at a very high level, explosive and mental, and all these different guys who are incredible, who have now moved over to playing Halo. And so I really think that whether we're talking prize pools, whatever we're talking here, I feel like it all needs to be improved upon moving into Gear 6, especially to bring a lot of those players back, because I think one of the tough things for me was seeing the Gears scene, as far as Gears esports, started to kind of dwindle as far as the superstars were concerned. They started moving over to other games, and I just feel that in order for us as an ecosystem to continue being, sustainable, we need superstars in Gears of War, and where those narratives can be driven around those players and such. And those players, I know that they're training and playing a lot, but I think they also need to be creating content, similar to what we're seeing with Call of Duty. You know, you have Scump and all these other guys that are creating content as well as competing. I think we need to have that here on the Gears of War scene. It's going to help our scene, guys, in a major way with growing. And that's what we want. We want the esports scene to grow. We want Gears of War as a franchise to grow. Because as long as it's growing, we're going to continue getting new games, and it's going to continue to be, you know, serviced, and something that the coalition is obviously helping us out with, and listening to our voice. So I think that's another way that you can really improve Gears esports. Now, on the flip side of that, from a viewership perspective, the question, you know, has come down to, like, do you, you know, kind of tone it down when it comes to the blood and gore in Gears of War esports to make it so it's more of a viewer-friendly esport? And the answer to that, guys, is very interesting, because obviously you want the scene to continue to grow, and you want it to be like, this is the mature game to watch for audiences. But at the same time, if you want to continue growing in a major way, you really want to be able to kind of connect with a number of different audiences. Like the WWE, for example, guys, just kind of comparing the two. You know, the WWE, it's relatively for mature audiences, but anybody can watch it, and it's not, you know, something that's completely over the top when we talk about, you know, gore and things of that nature. Obviously, the trash talk is still going to be there no matter what. Call of Duty League, there's a lot of trash talk in the Call of Duty League, and you can see it on a weekly basis when you watch the players play and what they're saying to one another. Gears of War is like that, but on another level. I just think that maybe the gore and things of that nature are something that need to be toned down, potentially, if you want to grow the scene. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about that, though, in the comment section down below. It's been one that I've been kind of trying to rack my brain around, whether it's too mature, kind of like Mortal Kombat, or, you know, things of that nature. Because there's a lot of, you know, tournaments and such that will not host Mortal Kombat, just as an example, because of how gory it is. So they'll put like Street Fighter and, say, Smash up at the forefront, and Mortal Kombat won't really get that national audience because of the sheer amount of gore and such that is in Mortal Kombat. And so I look at that, and then I look at something like Gears of War. How can we push this thing forward? The other thing, guys, is obviously Activision owning MLG or purchasing MLG. What can that mean for Gears of War? I mean, it could be something absolutely massive. I want to see Gears go on the MLG circuit. I think that is something that would be absolutely incredible. Or the esports engine, whatever you want to call it, guys. I would absolutely love to see Gears of War go on that circuit. Now, we got UMG, which is awesome, but I'd love to see MLG come back into the fray. I think it would be something really special, guys. But with that being said, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this and ways that we can continue to, you know, innovate and help improve Gears esports. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Gears esports content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. With the hype and excitement around Gears 6, guys, as we're hopefully getting closer and closer to an announcement here in 2022, I want to go ahead and talk about everything that we want at this point in time in Gears 6. And when I say we, guys, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and opinions on this. I'll give you the top 5 things that I would like to see in Gears 6. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. What are the things that you want to see in Gears 6? So let's get into it. So coming in at number 1 for me, guys, this goes without question, but, you know, obviously Gears of War has done a great job of this. When they release the title, it's a full package, and I want to see this continue in Gears 6. When I say a full package, guys, I mean a full-blown campaign, co-op modes, and multiplayer modes. Having all 3 of those things, it justifies that $60 price tag. It's also one of those things where it gets you to, after you beat the campaign, you can move on to other game modes and things of that nature. It keeps you engaged in the title. And so a full package is absolutely huge. Coming in for me, though, at number 2 is multiplayer, and I would love to see Gears of War take the same sort of direction that 343 Industries came in with Halo Infinite. I want to see a free-to-play multiplayer for Gears of War and Gears 6. I think that this would really help bring a lot of people in to at least try the multiplayer experience. I think it could be absolutely huge for this title, guys. For the long withstanding, you know, length of time until we would end up getting a Gears 7 or whatever the case may be. I would love to see a Gears 6 free-to-play multiplayer. I think it is absolutely needed for the scene. Coming in for me at number 3, guys, this gets me to the campaign. So in the campaign of Gears 5, near the end of the game, you have to make some choices. And what I love about that is I think it really creates different narratives and things of that nature. And so that's why I would love to see here them kind of continue this, where we get more choices that are bigger than just choosing which path to go down. I think that having more choices in Gears 6 would be awesome from a narrative perspective, and it would actually create more playthroughs, I think, of the campaign, because you'd want to see what happens if I chose this or that. And so I think that would be absolutely awesome to see more choices here in Gear 6. Coming in at number 4 for me, guys, Horde mode is one of the greatest PvE modes, in my personal opinion, ever made in gaming. And in Gears of War 3, they introduced another mode outside of Horde mode. It was called Beast mode. It was where you played, and kind of a role reversal where you played the Swarm. And I thought it was awesome, guys. And, you're playing the Locust Horde and those different characters. And I thought that was really awesome. I would love them to bring back Beast mode in this title. I thought that was a really special mode that they have not continued at this point since Gears 3. And so I would love to see that return in some way, shape, or form. And then coming in, guys, at number 5 for me, in the campaign, they teased like this semi-open world in Gears of War 5 or Gears 5. I would love to see a full open world here in Gears 6. I would love to see it even expanded upon even more. A semi-open world was awesome, but I would love to see a full open world where we can explore a lot in that campaign and such. And especially because it seems like it's the longest period of time since we've had a Gears of War title. Hopefully the Coalition is working on a full-blown open world scenario here in Gears 6. But those are the 5 things, guys, I really want to see in Gears 6. What would you like to see? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. A lot of people are asking the question, when can we expect an announcement for Gears 6? This is a title, guys, that so many people are excited about. We can't wait to see the continuation of Gears of War in the form of Gears 6. Especially because I think people are starting to get to that point where they're ready to see, what's next for us in the Gears of War, just from a fan base perspective. When we see games like Halo doing so well, it just gets us very anxious to see Gears 6 come out, hopefully with some free-to-play, multiplayer modes and things of that nature, and ways that we can continue engaging, see the esports scene grow, hopefully bring a lot of people back into the Gears of War community. So with that being said, when can we expect an announcement? So obviously, guys, I think that we can expect an announcement either in 2022 or 2023. So within the next year to 2 years. And here's how I'm getting that, why I'm coming down, bringing it and breaking it down in that way. Number 1 is this, guys. So obviously we've got a number of conventions this year. You got E3, you got Xbox Showcase. You've got all these different ways in which they could show off Gears 6 this year. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they announce it this year here in 2022. If they do announce it this year, I think it'll probably be just a short teaser, or it may just be, like a very quick snippet with like the Gears logo to confirm that it is coming. But the other thing is, though, let's just say on the flip side of this, obviously the Coalition is working on something outside of Gear 6. So they probably have some of the team working on Gear 6 at this point, but they also are working on either a new IP, or they're working on a Perfect Dark reboot, or they're working on other things that they may be showing off first. There was a leak that came out, guys, we talked about this earlier in the show, that obviously there is talk that the Coalition is working on a brand new IP, and there's rumor that they're going to reveal that here this year, and it's going to release in 2023, and then Gear 6 will release in 2024 or 2025. So if that's the case, what's probably going to happen is the Coalition is not going to want to take away from, obviously, their announcement of their new IP. They're going to want to show off their new IP without Gears of War kind of overshadowing that. So they'll show off that probably here in 2022. It'll release in 2023. And 2023 is probably when we would be seeing the reveal of Gear 6. Now, like I said, guys, I'm hoping that they would actually show both of these things just so it can get the Gears community really excited. I'm hoping with, like I said, maybe the Xbox Game Showcase, they could show off a very quick thing based around the Gear 6, that it's at least confirmed and coming out, even though it was confirmed back with Rod Ferguson, who was the former studio head at the Coalition. He said Gears 6, Gears 7, and a Gears of War movie were all confirmed. So obviously, that gets us to very excited that we're at least going to get 2 more Gears titles. But the question is when. So if I would say, guys, if we get an announcement for this new IP from the Coalition here in 2022, it'll be 2023 when we hear about Gear 6. But hey, I'm hoping, guys, I think we're closer rather than really far away from having a Gears 6, announcement at this point in time. And I'm very excited about it. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about this, though, in the comment section down below. Do you think we're going to get a Gears 6 announcement this year, or do you think it'll be something that we get in 2023 or beyond? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. There's been a lot of talk about Gears 6, guys, as we're ramping up and getting excited about the next installment in the Gears franchise. But there's been, some questions that have gone around the community saying, how is Gears 6 going to be different from Gears 5? How is, we as the community, how can we help make this a smash success? Or how more so can the Coalition make this a smash success than the community? And really, guys, I want to talk about this, how we as the community can make this game a smash success. Because at the end of the day, the Coalition, they can do what they need to do. They can make this a fantastic game. But at the same time, it's not really just up to them in order to make it a smash success. We as the community have to make it a smash success. We need to be creating content around this game, whether it's on YouTube, streaming it on Twitch. We need to be, and if you don't do either of those things, that's fine. But you need to be supporting your favorite streamers, your favorite content creators, to help the numbers go up, guys, when it comes to, obviously, Gears of War moving forward and Gears 6. There are still people in this community that are very excited about the future of Gears of War. And we see it just in the numbers, guys. People are excited for Gears 6 at this point, but it's up to us as the community not to, and I've been very critical of the Gears community at times, guys, where it just feels like there's too much negativity going on in the community towards the Coalition. And obviously that definitely probably wears on the Coalition and the people working over there when they see nothing but negativity coming out of the community. And obviously the Gears community is smaller than the Call of Duty community. Call of Duty has had its issues, guys, but it's got such a massive community that it can kind of withstand a lot of that negativity. Whereas with Gears of War, we don't have a big enough community to kind of withstand all of the negativity that's coming towards the Coalition. So first off, guys, I really think we as a community have to kind of change our attitude towards the Coalition. Go in with an open mind. If there's issues with the game when it releases, obviously, we're going to voice our opinion, but there's a way in which you can go about saying it. I think it's important that these developers understand that we care deeply about Gears of War, and we don't need to see and they don't necessarily need to hear all of the crazy amounts of backlash towards them. Let them take their time to create the perfect and the best game possible, guys. And there's going to be issues along the journey. But as long as we, make them aware of those things, I believe that the Coalition will listen to what the community is saying, the things that we want out of this next installment in the Gears franchise. And those are ways that we're going to help grow it. But the Coalition can only do so much from a marketing perspective and all of that. It's up to us as the community, guys. We've got to be streaming. We've got to be creating content. And if you're not doing those things, like I said, you have to be really supporting your favorite creators in the Gears scene, because it's going to be up to us to try to pull in more viewers, but it's really how can this be a sustainable ecosystem, and how can we bring in more new people? Free-to-play multiplayer is definitely one way, and that's where the Coalition can really control that. But what we can control is creating tons of content around it and continuing to do that. Even with Gears 5, guys, creating a lot of content around this game. Even if you don't love Gears 5, creating content around it or watching creators that you love, watching their content, I think that's all huge ways, guys. I see only a number of people that really create content around Gears of War, and those guys are awesome. Shadows and all these guys that are creating content right now. It's great, but we need to expand upon that. We need the next generation of creators to come into Gears of War and create content. It's going to help the numbers all the way across the board. Believe me, I think that we as the community, we have to really give this game a voice, and we have to be the ones that are helping push this thing to the next level. It can't just be up to the coalition to help branch this game out. It has to be up to us as well. They'll do their part. We're going to have to do our part in really seeing the success and the growth of this scene moving forward. But those are ways, guys, that we can help make this thing a smash success. If they have like a BR mode, I mean, that would be huge. So sure, there's definitely things, guys, that the coalition can do to help make Gears of War this, in Gears 6, a smash success. But we have to be the ones that are sustaining that and coming back for more and creating content around it. And all of those things are really going to help moving forward. But let me know, guys, what do you think it's going to take for Gears 6 to be a smash success? Do you agree with me where it's partially on the coalition, partially on us as the community, or do you think it should be all on one or the other? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Gears 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the Gears Cast. And if you guys did, all I ask is that you hit that thumbs up button, guys. That helps out the YouTube channel in a massive way. Subscribe if you're new, and that, of course, is going to help you get notified every single time we have new content that is going up on the YouTube channel. Just keep grinding, guys. Stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.